Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council for February 21st, 2019, to order at 7:59 p.m.
Can everyone please rise for a prayer and a flag salute? Oh God our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting, which we entrust in your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and implant therein a keen sense of justice, a great love for you and our neighbor. Guide us in our deliberations so that our decisions will always please you and bring you peace and happiness in our community. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Whereas Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of the State of New Jersey requires at the commencement of every meeting a statement of compliance be read by the presiding officer. Now therefore be advised that the meeting requirements for this meeting have been met by publishing a special meeting notice in the Record and the Herald News, and by posting such a notice in the office of the Borough Clerk as well in a public place within the municipal building, and by notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted on January 7, 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is being videotaped and will be on Cablevision, Channel 77, on Mondays, 3 p.m., Thursdays, 11:30 a.m., Fridays, 10 a.m. The video also be available on the borough website, www.elmwoodparknj.us. Call the roll, please.
Mayor on roll call, council members Ballesherry.
Here.
Dombrowski.
Here.
Ingui.
Here.
Pellegrin.
Here.
Wetchler.
Here.
Council President Golombek.
Here.
Mayor Catamagna.
Here.
We have a quorum. Mayor, at this time, we can move forward with the Veterans Accommodation for Mr. Robert Brunda. May everyone please stand for the Elmwood Park Honor Guard, which will be escorting Mr. Brunda and his family.
Mark time. Detail. Oh. Quick.
Thank you. May Mr. Brunda and his family please step forward.
John, would you come, please?
To make the presentation, we have Mayor Francesco Catamagna and Councilman Joseph Dombrowski. Just turn it on. It was tested earlier. You have to hold it down until it's green.
Oh, you gotta be thick. Especially with my voice and my accent, you'll be able to understand. Okay. Whereas Robert Rayfield Brunda was born on January 21st, 1944 in Garfield, New Jersey, to Peter and Vera Brunda. Perfect? We got it? Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. Robert enlisted in the United States Navy after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Robert began active duty in the United States Navy on November 14, 1942. Whereas during his service, he participated in both the Atlantic and Pacific theaters, performing duties on the following vessels: USS PC-1213 patrol craft, USS D.U. Page attack transport, USS YMS-19 minesweeper, destroyed by Japanese mine during United States invasion on Palau Island, east of Anguilla, on September 24, 1944. Crew rescued by USS Leonard Wood APA-12. USS Topeka CL-67 light cruiser. Whereas during his time in the Navy, he was also stationed at several Navy stations at the east and west coast of the United States, as well as a forward naval station at the Admiralty Island in Papua New Guinea. Whereas during his service, he earned the following compensation: Good Conduct Medal, American Theater Ribbon, Asiatic Pacific Ribbon, 3 stars, Victory Medal. After Japan's surrender, Robert continued to serve on the USS Topeka, which was part of the United States occupying force in Tokyo Bay. Robert was honorably discharged on January 19, 1946, year after I was born. Year after I was born. I was born 1945. Whereas upon return to Garfield, he soon met Eugenia Zanuck, who Robert soon married on February 4, 1949, and moved to Elmwood Park to start a family with her. He still resides in Elmwood Park to this day. Robert survived his wife Eugenia, who passed away in 2014. Robert has 2 children, Robert and Nadine, 5 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren, with 2 more on the way. Nice, beautiful family. Now therefore be proclaimed, the mayor and council of the Borough of Elmwood Park be hereby proclaimed distinguished recognition to Robert Rayfield Brunda to service to our country, and be further proclaimed by the power vested in me in the United States and the state of New Jersey as a mayor of the Borough of Elmwood Park. We join in celebrating a special day to express our gratitude to Robert Rayfield Brunda. Sir, thank you very much for what you did for us, for this country. We thank you. That's why we have a freedom. God bless you.
Mayor, if I may, there's one more surprise for you. We have somebody here from the county, Bergen County. Would you please come on up? Please sit down, for sure.
Hello. Hello, sir. I have a proclamation from the County Executive, James Tedesco, as well as the Board of Chosen Freeholders for your incredible service during World War II. So, sir, please. Thank you for your service.
Also, I must say thank you for our Councilman Joe Dombrowski for bringing us this beautiful event tonight. Thank you, sir. Very good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have a picture of Mr. Brunda when he was a Navy, you were, you were an apprentice at this time? What were you called at this time? An apprentice, okay. I gotta say, he's as handsome today as he is in this picture. Congratulations. Well, thank you very much. If I can ask you, which theater do you like better, the Japanese theater or the German theater? Which one was more scary for you? Let me ask you that. By the Japanese. Okay, well, thank you very much for everything that you've done for this country, and thank you for being an Elmo Park resident for all those years. 95 years old. Looks pretty damn good for 95 years old. Thank you very much, and thank you to the family. Thank you very much. Oh, Mr. Brother, the county executive's office would like a picture with you and the council members. Would that be okay? Can we get behind you? So what we're going to do is we're going to bring you a little forward. You don't mind? With some grace. I'll push you. Don't worry, I got father who sits like this. Okay? Now we're going to ask the family to also get behind us, and then the council behind us. Okay? Oh, the whole family's got to get in, so you can come all the way around. If necessary, we can move your
No, I was gonna say the short people should knock.
Come on over, Ed. You guys come on this side. Let's, there you go. Can you get everybody?
Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Will everyone please rise while the colors are dismissed, please. Guard, detail. Dismissed. Colors, hit. Forwards. Thank you. Please be seated.
Mayor, at this time, if you could step down from the dais alongside Councilwoman Balistreri, our Board of Recreation Liaison, so that we can move forward with the presentation to Elmwood Park Crew SCU 10, who earned the title as the Morris County Youth Soccer Association Division Champions. She hasn't.
Thank you, Mayor, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Board of Council, for for having us here and recognizing our girls group for their great achievement during the fall season. They did very well, and they were champions for the fall. So they scored a lot of goals. They gave all their best, and here we're having them recognized. Thank you so much.
Favorite sports guy, he's been playing soccer. Love it.
A little bit longer than the last name, please excuse me. Gabriella Arazola. Giselle Arazola. Victoria Manzelli. Annabelle Martinez. Gianna
So cute.
Olivia
These girls are 9 years old.
Christina Petrowski. Victoria Lukowski. Kate Savant. Kayla Thomas.
They're both not here. Yes. Okay. I think we take him. Thank you. Mayor, Council, thank you very much for invitation again. We hope we be here every 6 months. Visit you. So it feels like comfort for those years. Loves you. And thank you. And also, I think we forgot about parents. It wouldn't happen without them. Thank you very much. All right? So, let's have a picture with Mayor. Come on.
You get the rest of the council? Take a picture with the beautiful kids. Oh my gosh, how many times have we seen you? Okay,
You want to do comments?
No, that's what, after that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
take a few minutes break. All comments come. Is anyone, few minutes, please. Have a seat, calm down. The council wants to say something to you. Councilwoman,
No, go ahead, Joe.
you start the other way?
Oh, you just threw.
The other side, this side.
Go to that side.
The gentleman that left, that was the veteran, I want to say congratulations for his hard work and all his protection for this town and for this world. Yeah, he's been there for our country and how much gives back to us. We all have to say that. And girls, great job. Show those boys that you've got on it and just like they do.
Next.
I also want to congratulate Robert Brunda and thank him for his service. It's wonderful to bring in community members and recognize them for what they've done for our country. So thank you again. And of course, these young ladies, coaches, parents. It's very exciting to keep, bring you back. I love to see the same faces, recognize, I mean, you're doing a great job, obviously, with the girls, and I know they're just going to get better and better, and we're going to see you here each year. So you should all be very, very proud, and of course the parents, because without the parents' support, they wouldn't be here tonight being recognized. So thank you to all the parents, because they put a lot of their own time and effort into this and their love. So great job, girls. Keep up the hard work.
Thank you. Anybody else on this side?
Sure. I want to congratulate the girls on their successful season. I love seeing an all-girls team. It's wonderful, and I remember being the mom cutting oranges, so thank you, moms, for all the effort you put into their season. And I'd also like to, I know Mr. Brunda has left, but thank him for his years of service and his dedication to not only the country, but to Elmo Park.
Mr. Dombrowski.
All right. Girls, I talked to you earlier on to remind you that this year the U.S. ladies will be going for their World Cup to regain the World Cup. You're only about 9 years away from that. So everything that you're learning today, you'll be taking forward with you. The one thing that I ask you to do is never put your schoolwork last. Make sure it's always first. Okay? But congratulations, ladies, on your championship. And may you all enjoy a successful career in playing soccer or football, whatever you call it. To Mr. Brunda, a 70-year resident of Elmwood Park, as well as a veteran of the United States Navy, I couldn't have been more honored to stand with the mayor today to give him his accommodations and to have our county executive and our county freeholders also recognize him. I think it's an achievement, and Mayor, I congratulate you on continuing and doing this, and I'd like to see this happen more often with other residents in Elmwood Park. Thank you.
I'd like to congratulate all the players, the coaches, the parents, our rec director, for all the hard work you've done. Hard work does pay off, right? You were here before, you're here again, and we're all so proud of you as a community. So keep up all your hard work. And to Mr. Brennan, I want to thank him for his service to our great country and for all the sacrifices that him and his family made to give us all freedom. This is very near and dear to me. My son is also in the military, so I know the sacrifices that are made, and I can't thank him enough and all the veterans that do so much for us to have freedom. Thank them all.
Thank you. Mr. Goldberg.
Thank you, Mayor. To Mr. Brunda, he's a hero, and it's important that we do these things because a lot of great deeds go unnoticed, and we should never forget those kinds of sacrifices. So I hope we keep doing this every single month. To the team we had here today, congrats. Beautiful job. You do play the most beautiful sport in the world. To the wrecking crew, to all the coaches, Mr. Zeno, Ms. Helena, all the work you do to keep this moving, time out of your own personal time to make it work. Monday, I actually refereed an EP crew team at the Teaneck Armory, and surprisingly, they won.
Surprise?
No, I mean, well, I meant that I
with him reffing, surprised they won.
There was a different point to that. I didn't want to say that. I would never do that. But keep up the great work. Again, we hope to see your teams here every 6 months because you're doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to say some words? No? Is that okay? All right. Again, I repeat myself again to congratulate and say thank you to Robert Rayfield Brunda. I think people like him made what this country is today. We're very proud of our veterans. And as the President and Mr. Go and Dombrowski said that we should continue with this, yes, we will continue. Okay, so we like to recognize these people. And may God bless them and say thank you again. For the soccer, this is my favorite sport. I don't understand the other sports. I only know soccer. I understand. I learned a little bit about football, basketball, and whatever. No, basketball is easy. But hockey. So guys, keep up the good work. And I tell you, when I see kids play soccer, I want to be on the field again. But my mind is okay. My body doesn't follow my mind. So I just take it easy. But I was a coach for many years. I played for many years. And I remind everybody again that I'm the one who started the soccer program in Elmore Park. Don't forget that. One day I want to have my name on the wall. Thank you very much, and keep on doing the good job and come back again. We have many more of those certificates. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, parents. Very nice. Encourage this. My granddaughter, 5 years old, she loves soccer. So, encourage everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
At this time, we will take a short recess. The meeting will reconvene in 5 minutes' time. Okay. Mayor, we'll continue on with ordinances, beginning with those that we will introduce on first reading, starting with ordinance R-78-19, reintroduced ordinance number 19-02. Thank you, Borough Attorney. Being that we are back in session, I will do roll call one more time. Mayor on roll call, council members Ballasteri.
Here.
Dombrowski.
Here.
Ingui.
Here.
Pellegrin.
Here.
Wetchler.
Here.
Council President Gollbeck.
Here.
Mayor Catamagna.
Here.
We have a quorum. Okay, so moving on with ordinances on first reading, R-78-19, reintroduced ordinance number 19-02, an ordinance to amend Chapter 3 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park titled Department of Local Government, more specifically, Section 2-27 entitled Police Department. Be it resolved that an ordinance to amend Chapter 3 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park titled Department of Local Government, more specifically Section 2-27 entitled Police Department, be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, March 21st, 2019, at 8 p.m. or as soon thereafter as deemed can be heard, at which time any persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it resolved that the acting borough clerk be and she is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law. Be it further resolved that resolution R-51-19 is hereby rescinded. Mayor, may I have a motion to introduce the ordinance?
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
First by Wetchler, second by Pellegrin.
Yes.
Council members Ballasteri,
Recuse.
Dombrowski,
Yes.
Ingui,
Recuse.
Pellegrin,
Yes.
Wetchler,
Yes.
Council President Gollbeck.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to resolution R-79-19, reintroduced ordinance number 19-04. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend Chapter 2 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park titled Administration, more specifically Article 2, Offices Created, Section 2-7 titled Municipal Clerk, and Section 2-7.5 titled Administrative Duties of the Municipal Clerk, be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, March 21st, 2019, at 8 p.m. or as soon thereafter as deemed can be heard, at which time any persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it resolved that the acting borough clerk be, and she is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law. Be it further resolved that resolution R-53-19 is hereby rescinded. Mayor, may I have a motion to introduce
May I have a
the
motion,
ordinance?
please?
So moved.
Second.
First by Wetchler, second by Dombrowski. Councilmembers Ballasteri,
Yes.
Dombrowski,
Yes.
Ingui,
Yes.
Pellegrin,
Yes.
Wetchler,
Yes.
Council President Gollbeck.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to ordinances being introduced on second reading. Resolution R-80-19, introduced ordinance number 19-01, whereas a public notice has been given by the borough clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to establish the Water Department of the Borough of Elmwood Park, Bergen County, New Jersey, to fix the rates and prices to be charged for the use of water and establish rules and regulations for the distribution, supply, use, and protection of said water, and penalties for the violation of certain said rules and regulations. And whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, January 17, 2019, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting, and whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to establish the Water Department of the Borough of Elmwood Park, Bergen County, New Jersey, to fix the rates and prices to be charged for the use of water and establish rules and regulations for the distribution, supply, use, and protection of said water, and penalties for the violation of certain said rules and regulations. Pass on final reading.
We have a motion to open to the public.
Second.
All right.
First by Wetchler, second by Ingwe.
Would anyone from the public like to come up and speak on this ordinance, and this ordinance only? If no one else, if no one wishes to come up, I will close the public section. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
First by
Call the roll.
Dombrowski, second by Wetchler.
Call the roll.
Council members Balistrary,
Yes.
Dombrowski,
Yes.
Ingwe,
Yes.
Pellegrin,
Yes.
Wetchler. Council President Golubek.
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, may I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Motion, please.
So moved.
Okay. Call
First
the
by
roll.
Dombrowski, second by Wetchler.
Call the roll, please.
Balistrary,
Yes.
Dombrowski,
Yes.
Ingwe,
Yes.
Pellegrin,
Yes.
Wetchler.
Yes.
Council President Golubek.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to Resolution R-81-19, introduced ordinance number 19-03, whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend Chapter 27 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park titled Solid Waste Management, and whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, January 17, 2019, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend Chapter 27 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park titled Solid Waste Management be passed on final reading.
May I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
First by Ingwe,
Second by Wetchler.
second by Wetchler.
Would anyone
Count-
from the, call the roll?
No, sorry, you were correct.
Okay. Would anyone from the public like to come up and speak on this ordinance? Only on this ordinance. Anyone else? No? Nobody? Okay.
Mayor, discussion, please, if we may.
Yeah.
I think it's important that the residents realize that this change to the ordinance is in specific to upholstery, any kind of couch or anything that has any upholstery on it. When you put it out to the curb, the garbage collectors will only collect it if it is fully covered in plastic due to the health issues of bed bugs and other mites that may be in there. We've had issues where the garbage men have had to go and get debugged, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, because we've had some issues. And it really is, it's actually being brought up by the state at this moment. It may eventually become a state ordinance. So please be aware that anybody who puts anything out and it's not covered, it will not get picked up, and you have a potential fine of up to $100. So please heed the notice. If you're putting anything out with upholstery, that you keep it covered in plastic. You could go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy the drop cloths for less than a couple of bucks, and just wrap it in that, and especially mattresses and all. So please heed the warning, because it will not get picked up if it's not covered.
Is there a penalty on this?
There is
$100?
up to $100 penalty.
Okay, I guess we close to the public. Does anyone make a motion to close?
So move.
Second.
Call the
First
roll.
by Dombrowski, second by Pellegrin. Councilmembers Balistrary,
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Ingwe?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Wetchler?
Yes.
Council President Golubek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, may I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Make a motion?
So moved.
I'll second that.
First by Wetchler, second by Golubek. Council members Ballasteri?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Ingwe?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Wetchler?
Yes.
Council President Golubek?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Anyone from the public would like to come up and speak on this ordinance?
We already did that.
I'm sorry,
Moving on to
I guess move to adopt the ordinance.
We did that too.
We did. Moving on to Resolution R-82-19, introduced ordinance number 19-05, whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Establishing a Three-Way Stop at the Intersections of Cadmus and Fournier Crescent," and to amend Chapter 7 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park titled Traffic, more specifically Section 7-21 titled Multi-Way Stop Intersections, and whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, January 17, 2019, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting, and whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Establishing a Three-Way Stop at the Intersections of Cadmus and Fournier Crescent," and to amend Chapter 7 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park titled Traffic, more specifically Section 7-21 titled Multi-Way Stop Intersections, pass on final reading.
May I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
First by Wetchler,
I'll second.
second by Golubek.
Anyone from the public would like to come up and speak on this ordinance? If no one, I will close the portion to public. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
First by Dombrowski, second by Pellegrin. Council members Ballasteri?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Ingwe?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Wetchler?
Yes.
Council President Golubek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, may I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Motion, please?
I'll
So
make that-
moved.
oh,
First by Pellegrin, second by Wetchler. Council members Ballasteri?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Ingwe?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Wetchler?
Yes.
Council President Golubek?
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to Resolution R-83-19, introduce ordinance number 19-06, whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance to Amend Chapter 14 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park titled Fire Prevention," and whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, January 17, 2019, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting, and whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance to Amend Chapter 14 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park titled Fire Prevention," pass on final reading.
May I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
First by Wetchler, second by Ingwe.
Anyone from the public want to come up here to speak on this ordinance? If not, I close the portion of the public. I have a motion?
So moved.
First
Second.
by Wetchler, second by Pellegrin. Council members Ballasteri?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Ingwe?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Wetchler?
Yes.
Council President Golubek?
Yes.
Mayor, may I have a
Yes.
motion to adopt the ordinance?
I need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
First by Dombrowski, second by Golubek. Council members Ballasteri?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Ingwe?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Wetchler?
Yes.
Council President Golubek?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Mayor, discussion, please. If I may, Mayor.
Yes.
I would just like to commend our fire official, Steve Kruchik. He had spent many, many hours putting this together and bringing Elmwood Park fire prevention up to the state minimums. He took many hours doing this and on his own time. And I will tell you that now Elmwood Park is at the state minimum and we're covered going forward. At one point, our fees were almost half of what the state required. So the state was taking their portion of it, and Elmwood Park was basically getting nothing. So I commend him on doing so. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? No? Okay.
Moving on to the consent agenda, we have R-84-19, approval of payroll, R-85-19, approval of bills list, R-86-19, authorize current estimate number 1 and change order number 1, Mola Boulevard, Zaccaro, Inc. R-87-19, authorize vacation buyback, Carrie Peretti. R-88-19, authorize vacation buyback, Scott Cars. R-89-19, authorize vacation buyback, John T. Stankiewicz. R-90-19, authorize sick time buyback, Frank Thorpe. R-91-19, authorize sick time buyback, Michael Foligno. R-92-19, authorize dog license refund. R-93-19, redeem third-party tax title lien. R-94-19, appointing the borough's fund commissioner and alternate fund commissioner to the South Bergen Municipal Joint Insurance Fund. R-95-19, appointment of junior firefighter Matthew Ruglio, company number 2. R-96-19, expulsion of firefighter Robert Daubenberger, company number 2. R-97-19, obtaining services of EP&G Company. R-98-19, approved proposal for design services for Memorial High School tennis court improvements, Alimo Group. R-99-19, appoint ASP counselor Maribel Val, Recreation Department. R-100-19, certification of compliance regarding enforcement guidance on the consideration of arrest and conviction records and employment decisions under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. R-101-19, authorize execution of service agreement, Salvatore A. Ingraffia. R-102-19, appoint special counsel representation for property tax appeals. R-103-19, authorize current estimate number 1 and change order number 1, Orchard, Franklin, and Lee Street improvements, American Asphalt and Milling Services. R-104-19, authorizing the emergency purchase of a Snap-Tight HFX hose due to the January 30th, 2019 Markel fire. R-105-19, authorizing the emergency purchase of a Waterous CPK-4 four-stage pump due to the January 30th, 2019 Markel fire. R-106-19, appointment of information technology professional, Intrep Solutions, LLC. R-107-19, appointment in the building department, keyboarding 1. R-108-19, appointment in the mayor's office, keyboarding 1. R-109-19, approving consent agenda.
May I have a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Okay,
First by Dombrowski, second by Golubek.
Discussion, Mayor?
discussion, anyone?
Yes.
Yes? Go ahead.
Very briefly, Mayor. R86-19, there was a company that came in and did some paving on the boulevard between in the woods between Washington and Gilbert. And one of our council members, Councilman Dombrowski, and some others noticed that there was not the best finish at the end of the paving, and brought this point up to a meeting. And I think the first number that came back was, okay, then they're going to get $5,000 less. But because of his insistence and really realizing that it was not done as it should have been, the borough is going to withhold about $35,000. So I commend you, Councilman, on your insistence, because this is why we're here. You know, we're not day-to-day, but we are for making sure that at every single possible moment we can save the taxpayers' money and spend their money wisely. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman.
Anyone else?
Mayor, yeah, I'd like to just on, well, you know what, we'll vote on it and then I'll talk. We'll vote on it.
Okay. Okay, can I have, I guess, a
Motion to
motion to,
Call the roll.
roll call.
Councilmembers Balistrary,
Yes, but I recuse on R-8419, R-9019, and R-9119.
Dombrowski,
Yes, on all.
Ingui,
Yes, but I recuse on R-8419, R-9019, R-9119, and R-9819.
Pellegrin,
Yes.
Wetchler,
I recuse myself on R-8419, R-8519, and R-99-19, and yes to the rest.
Council President Golubek.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mayor, this concludes my portion of the meeting.
Mayor, just a quick comment on, tonight on R9619, I'm sorry, on R9519, we are appointing a junior firefighter, Matthew Ruglio, who's actually here in the audience tonight. And I'd just like to mention that Matthew comes from a family of firefighters. His dad has been a longtime fireman with Company 2, and he will be joining his dad and learning from him as well. So Gary, I congratulate you on your son's appointment. Matthew, I know that this has been your dream, and I'm happy to see you fulfill your dream. Congratulations.
Mayor, if I may, I'd also like to just congratulate Matthew. I've known Matthew a very long time. He's always been an upstanding, mature man. I'm so happy to see this. I'm still hoping he may sway to be a police officer, but probably not. Congratulations, Matthew. This is a very proud moment for us.
Okay. Council report?
If I may, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, on council report, as I said earlier, I congratulate Mr. Brunda and thank you, and I'm honored to have been here for his recognition, as well as the young ladies, the 10 and under soccer crew. But as of today, our Elmwood Park Fire Department, with 52 days into the new year, they have responded to 96 calls. The month of January, the fire department responded to 52 calls, totaling approximately 1,015 man-hours. This does not include the devastating fire at Markel. I'm sure that all residents know that at 1,707 hours on January 30th, 2019, on a blistering cold and windy evening, our Elmwood Park Fire Department was dispatched to a potential fire at Markel. As our chief and our battalion chiefs were rolling up to the scene, they saw the dense smoke blowing over River Road and flames coming out of the roof. Quickly, they called for a fourth alarm, which requested the help and manpower of neighboring towns' fire departments. Eventually, the number of alarms grew to 10, with the discussion of possibly going to an 11. The 10-alarm fire brought fire departments from 71 communities and 4 different counties. The initial recon from inside the burning facility from the firefighters, they thought they had a chance to knock down the fire and save the building. Unfortunately, Mother Nature, with her almost 0-degree temperatures and 50-mile-an-hour sustained winds, fed the blaze across the roofs onto neighboring buildings. From the time of the initial call on January 30th at 1,707 hours until February 3rd, a total of 93 consecutive hours, totaling 3,813 man-hours, were spent extinguishing and overhauling the fire scene. It is unfortunate with all the effort that we lost 3/4 of the Markel building. But one thing we can all be thankful for is not one firefighter was lost or injured to the intense fire. The Fire Prevention Bureau has been working very closely with the federal and state agencies to determine the cause of the fire, which is still currently under investigation. Although this fire was a blow to Elmwood Park, because we now have over 500 Markel employees without a place to return to work, a factory was leveled to the ground. Some would think that this means doom for Elmwood Park. I can tell you, this will not doom Elmwood Park. This showed us what Elmwood Park was all about. The night of the fire, local businesses opened their doors to allow the literally frozen firefighters to come inside and warm up, so they could thaw out, so they could go back out and fight the fire. The night of the blaze, local restaurants kept their doors open the entire night, so firefighters could grab a warm drink and food so they could get the strength to return to the flames. The very next day, we had residents stopping and dropping off hot chocolate, hot coffee, Dunkin' donuts, food to the firefighters who spent the night there. Area restaurants came to set up tables around the perimeter to serve hot food to the exhausted firefighters. County and state officials have been helping the displaced employees find employment. Here at the borough, we have fielded many phone calls from companies offering job opportunities for these employees. And the Elmwood Park schools have set up a special dress down day, which will take place tomorrow, and sell red bracelets to raise money to hold a luncheon for all the emergency services in the DPW. Residents of Elmwood Park, this isn't doom. This is Elmwood Park strong, EP strong. Our community came together for each other. Our community is strong, and so is Markel, and they will rise again. On July 13th, our Company 2 and Company 3 engines will be hosting a wet down event that will be, and they will be christening their new fire apparatuses as well as their water recovery vehicles. The host location will be at 619 River Drive, the parking lot across the street from the Korean Church. They are still looking for level 1, 2, and 3 sponsors for the event, and any business or individual looking to sponsor who needs information can call Captain James Mills at 201-522-1395. Although our fire prevention has been pretty busy lately, they are still here to serve the residents and the businesses, and can contact our fire official at 201-796-1457 at extension 221. I would like to take this time to recognize all our firefighters, our chief, our EMS, our police departments for an amazing work. However, a special thanks goes out to our County Executive, James Tedesco, who from the start of the fire and throughout the evening and into the next day stood with our chiefs in the command center and helped us get the resources that we would so desperately needed. Jim Tedesco went over and above for our community, and I just wanted to say thank you to Jim. Finally, I would like to wish our Elmo Park resident, Jeff Leader, who is also here in the audience, luck, as next week he will go to Washington, D.C. and fight for children with rare diseases. During Rare Disease Week, he will be speaking to the Congress. Jeff, you've been an advocate for all the rare diseases. There's 7,000 rare diseases in this country. And Jeff isn't just speaking for his boys, he's speaking on behalf of all the children. And Jeff, I congratulate you, I wish you well. And please keep up the good fight. I know you do this with passion, and I am so proud to call you my friend, and good luck to you, sir. Progress, Mayor.
Sure, I'm ready. Yes. So my ambulance report, I met with the chief and assistant chief to speak about the day-to-day operations and the desperate need for volunteers. The chief reported to me that from January 1st throughout Tuesday, they have answered 176 calls, which is an extremely high number considering we're only 43 days into the year. I also just asked them for a brief write-up about what they did at the Markel fire. So I'm just going to read from what the assistant chief, Iqbal Singh, sent me. So he just, first off, the Markel fire was a tragedy that consumed a lot of time, energy, and resources backed by unmeasurable emotions that hit home. The effort of all the great town agencies, such as the fire department, ambulance corps, DPW, and police, were able to get through this incident without any reported harm to our town residents or employees. Our town's ambulance corps was present with 2 fully staffed ambulances with the extra manpower on board each rig from the moment the fire was declared a third-degree alarm. In addition to both ambulances, the EPVAC also had the first responder truck in service running field operations by Chief Pius, who was later relieved by the Assistant Chief Singh. As the fire scene developed further and more alarms were declared, Elmo Park Ambulance requested additional resources from mutual aid towns for additional rehab stations along with an ALS unit. Due to the fire being primarily external operation with temperatures approximately 5 degrees and a wind chill of below minus 15 degrees, EPVAC staged multiple rehabs and warming stations in all parts of the fire for the firemen at work. EPVAC requested and organized a total of 5 rehab/warming stations. Despite having both Elmo Park ambulances staged at the scene of the fire, the town residents were never left vulnerable to any in-town medical calls. EPVAC had Fairlawn Ambulance staged at their own headquarters and waiting to back up the Lodi ambulance. In addition to field operations, EPVAC also had 2 certified EMTs at our own town recreation center with medical equipment that they needed it. EPVAC, being a small volunteer ambulance corps staffed only by 12 members, showed what it means to be EP strong, proudly serving the town they reside in during that difficult time in need. I give them a lot of credit. They have a very, very 12 members, and they were there. So that was their role in that. Like everyone, January 30th, a little piece of my childhood was also taken away watching the Markel sign fall down. I remember growing up, and that's kind of how I knew I was home. And every weekend driving down Route 80, we had had a summer home, and when we would come back, we would know, like, oh, there's the red sign. We don't have to ask Dad to stop to go to the bathroom, or we were home, So a little piece of that was definitely taken away from us. But I want to give big kudos to Chief Sulik, Chief Foligno, and Scott Cars on their leadership roles. I think that they did a phenomenal job. I was here with some of the council members that night, and just watching everyone in action, and I believe that Chief Foligno said there's no egos, everyone just looking to help each other. It was very moving. We definitely are a very strong community together. As far as the PTO, I know Councilman Dombrowski just mentioned EP Strong Day. That is tomorrow. All the district students will be wearing red, white, and black to support the efforts of having a luncheon or dinner for all of our first responders. I want to thank the following PTO presidents for organizing and including St. Leo's and the middle school and high school. Because we don't have a PTO at our level, we usually don't get included in these things, so it was really special for us to get that phone call, and also for St. Leo's. So Nika Milligan and Cheryl Lee Pressler from 16th Avenue, Jen Solicito from Gantner Avenue, Tanisha Davis from Gilbert Avenue, and Kim Shama from St. Leo's will all be helping in tomorrow's EP Strong Day. The bracelets will be for sale. We have pre-order forms by all those people that if anyone would like to purchase a bracelet, you can see any one of those to do that. Lastly, I would also like to mention that next Thursday, February 28th, is Rare Disease Day. Rare disease affects my family as well. It's an important day to us, and we just hope that you keep everyone suffering with a rare disease in your prayers and progress.
Thank you. Ms. Pellegrini?
Yes, good evening. My Board of Health update. They had their meeting on February 11th, and they decided the rabies clinic is scheduled for Wednesday, May 15th from 5 to 7 p.m. and Wednesday, November 13th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Firehouse Number 4 on Mola Boulevard. Their next meeting will be March 11th at 7 p.m. The public is always welcome to attend these meetings. I'm also proud to announce the second annual police meet and greet will be held on April 25th at 7 p.m. right here. The chief and I started this program last year, and it was very successful. Our residents had a chance to learn about different divisions of the department. Also, very important information on safety was shared with all. This is another proactive measure to have our residents interact with our police officers in a very informal setting. Please save the date for a very special evening. Upcoming events. The mayor and council invite you to attend income tax preparation education sessions. The first one will be this Saturday, February 23rd at 10 a.m., and the second one will be held on March 16th at 10 a.m. Location is the all-purpose room. These classes are free as part of the Residents Assistance Program. The guest speaker will be Nicholas Pellegrini, my son, who's a CPA, and he's happy to give back to the community. Also on February 23rd, the Mayor and Council will be introducing Council Corner. Councilwoman Balistrieri and I will be co-chairing this new program. We invite our residents and businesses to share their visions, ideas, and concerns to collaborate for an even better Elmwood Park. Time is 1 to 3 p.m. in the all-purpose room. I hope some people will come out and join us and we can build on this. Also, the Mayor and Council are always looking to implement new programs to aid our residents. So please take advantage. These are free programs, and we really want to work with our residents and businesses for a better Elmwood Park. So I hope we get some people that come out and hear what we have to say, and let's work together and try to get some new programs and goals for our community going. And then also, Joe said it all and Denise about the Markow fire, but I just also had to say thank you. I just want to thank all our firefighters and first responders and all the surrounding towns that helped us. I know you really all saved the community. I said this to Chief Sulik one day, and I gave him a hug, and I really mean this from my heart. I really believe that without the professionalism of all of you and the hard work, that fire would have spread into the community more, and there could have been lives lost. So I really, really want to thank everyone, the chief, all the first responders. It was a devastating situation, but it was truly a miracle that not one person was hurt. Personally, I'm so grateful for each and every one of you, and I will never forget what you did to save our community on that night. So thank you all. Progress.
Thank you. Ms. Wexler?
Thank you. Not happy to say these, Lorraine's, Denise, Joe. Our hearts are all to you. All the environment, police department, everybody that came out to help Elmwood Park, Ms. Patterson. We've come a long way, and without the help of all of you, we wouldn't be here today. And thank God that not one person was hurt, one person was injured. Without your expertise expertise and everything else, you know, it could have been worse. On a better note, the homeowners meeting is held on Wednesdays, the fourth Wednesday of every month at 7 o'clock in the senior center at the Borough Hall. You do not have to be a homeowner to come to these meetings. Anybody that lives in Elmwood Park is always welcome. Please, we need everybody to get involved. Like Lorraine said, the more people that get involved, the residents, the better off our town will be. At the last meeting, Mayor Caramagna, you spoke about the different programs that are ongoing in our town. Mrs. Pellegrini, she spoke about the projects for Christmas that happen, Thanksgiving, and for, you know, the resident program. Everything, you know, that everybody does on this board and on this council is everything for the town. We love this town. We're all born and raised here. We're still here, 72 years in, I'm still here. So our next meeting will be this next Wednesday, February 27th at 7 o'clock. Please come out. We're going to have a new business that just started up on Market Street. It's Gemini Insurance. She's going to come out and speak about insurances and everything. We'd like you to please come out and, you know, meet her and greet her. And if anybody has any questions or anything, you can always call. It's Linda Calabini. She's the president. Or you can call me, 211-314-0795 on myself. And I'm always there and always available. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bachelet?
Okay, as my DPW report, the men have been out filling potholes as needed. The sweeper is undergoing winter maintenance. With the snow and ice on the ground, this is an opportunity to get the necessary repairs done. There were several water main breaks that have been repaired. With the Markel, the men assisted the DPW with the de-icing, fueling of the fire trucks, and whatever deemed necessary the night following the days of the fire. As far as our stop signs, there were 3 of them knocked down. They were replaced. The DPW, also the stigma-free signs. There were several. We had ordered several of them. 2 of them went up on February 6th in front of the Borough Hall. It was really a nice event, and we had a ribbon cutting. We had some of our task force council members, our chief, there were several people that came, our mayor. And I'll tell you, it was really, I'm very proud that there's so many people involved, and the support from the chief, police department, Scott Cars and the DPW, our task force, and of course our mayor and council has been very supportive throughout bringing stigma-free back to life. And there will be more signs going up by the schools, the recreation center, and wherever they feel is necessary. So I'm very proud of that. We had a meeting tonight. We talked about moving forward with a hopefully a coming out party, maybe some raising some funds for the stigma-free. And our next meeting will be March 21st, so we hope more people can attend. It'll be at 6 o'clock downstairs. And where am I? Let's see. As far as recreation, basketball has 1 more week until the playoffs begin. The Crew Indoor Soccer, grades 1 through 4, ends March 3rd. And street hockey is still currently in season. And summer camp spray park registration begins on March 25th. And I also, again, I'd like to echo the comments of the other council members and to say that I'm very, very proud of our fire department and all our first responders. Markel was devastating to the entire community. But the one thing I can say is, like, they worked so well together, every department. And that's what saved any injuries. And there's nothing worse that could have been worse if even one person was injured. So thank God for that. Progress.
Thank you. Mr. Golubak?
Thank you, Mayor. On this upcoming Tuesday, the Board of Education will have their monthly meeting. At 6:30, it'll be their work session, 8 o'clock public. That's the 26th of February. Regarding the Planning Board had 2 meetings this month. There was an application before the board for a use on Lily Arts Lane. The new occupant will be storing like floral supplies, vases, things like that for distribution to smaller flower stores and so forth. And this is good because the previous tenant was dealing with a lot more heavy material and was regularly a nuisance to neighbors. And we impressed upon the gentleman who bought this building and will bring his business in there that being a good neighbor is very important. And I think that message got across. So that is moving ahead. Councilwoman Ballesteri and I, as well as several members of administration and the mayor and our rec director, had a series of meetings about our parks and about kind of our goals, where we want to go. Because if there's one thing I've realized over the years is, we talk a lot. Not us, but anyone in these leadership positions, we talk about it would be great to do this, great to do that. And Sandy and I were just talking, so let's call a meeting. Let's put this out there and let's start moving on some of these things. And we are. Green Acres is a state grant that is funded every 2 years, where communities can apply for up to $1 million for upgrades to different parks. We, on that grant, will be focusing on our marina. We're working with our engineer to think of an ambitious kind of long-term plan, but really trying to do it by phases, seeing how much money Green Acres will give us. So we will see if they will give us up to $1 million when we apply for it this year. It's still tentative, but we're definitely going in the right direction on that. Open Space is another. The Bergen County Open Space is an application that is open every year to every town to apply. A few years ago, the county actually raised the tax rate for open space, so there's a larger pool of money now to go around. And last year we were approved for $197,000 for our tennis court project, which you see tonight. The design phase is going ahead. So I impressed upon our recreation director and everyone there that we should be asking for that type of money, because if we're only asking for the 60 or 70 that we used to ask for in the past, we're leaving money on the table. So the discussion led to that we have really one park left that we haven't upgraded or added a new playground in the last few years, and that's Rosemont Park. And through our discussion with our open space application for 2019, we're going to try to get that whole park redone. Every single aspect of a basketball court, an all-inclusive playground, possibly an area for a dog run and so forth. So that's moving ahead. That's going to be submitted. We also had a conversation about a dog park, something that's been thrown around the last few years. Our DPW director suggested some sites in town. The borough owns 2 pretty large pieces of land on River Drive, right on the Garfield border by Kip and Martha Ave. Those corner lots belong to the borough, and we're very seriously studying those sites, and we hope to put a nice product there. We know there's a lot of dog lovers in our community, a lot of dog lovers in general, and we're looking to accommodate our residents and give them more places to go and things to do. So I'm happy we're moving on those things. We're going to be visiting the county in a few weeks to talk about the woods that they own. That's technically a county park, but really not much of a park. It's another thing that's been talked about for years, and we have to get serious. Are they going to do something, or are we going to do something as Elmwood Park? Take it over, take ownership of it, and make it into a crown jewel. Because right now, it's just woods. And the county says, we have a master plan, we have a master plan. So we have to talk to them, sternly, but, with confidence. The Mark Cal fire, I echo everything all my colleagues said. I won't repeat a lot of it. And there's many people to thank, but 3 kind of really came to mind. Chief Sulik, who's in the back. I know he spent hours upon hours at the scene, didn't sleep for a long time, and he was commended by many different people, not from Elmwood Park, who made it a point to stop members of the governing body and say, you've got the right people running the show. They know what they're doing. And it's so reassuring, that, again, we all go to sleep at night knowing that we have that in place. When disaster strikes, we have the right people in place. Our DPW director, Scott Kars, who I believe is an ex-fire chief. I heard some of the audio, I guess, the broadcast of everything, and he was instrumental. His knowledge was very helpful, and we thank him for that, because he didn't have to be there, or he didn't have to be there right away, but he chose to be there because it's, Elmwood Park, and very, meaningful to him and the community at large. And Chief Foligno, who serves as our OEM, did an outstanding job. Again, many people from outside of this community that I know that watched the, News 12 and all these different things developed, made it a point to reach out to say, how composed of a police chief we had in a very hectic situation. Kept the media in the loop, but the media was not the priority. The scene was the priority. Kept the governing body in the loop. So, Chief, I thank you for that, and we always have full confidence that when these things happen, Mike Foligno's our OEM, and things will be under control. In March, I have two goals for myself personally as a council member. There are two committees, two types of committees that I would like to introduce to the council and get passed. An all access for all ADA type committee, which many communities have done and we've heard presentations on, and an environmental committee. There's a concept called Green Team in the state of New Jersey. Many towns have it, and when you scroll into Bergen and Passaic County, we seem to be the only ones without a little ping on our town that we have something like this. There's a lot of good work to be done, and it's something that I kind of want to wrap my hands around in the next month and going forward. So I think we're on the right track. I think the mayor and council is working together tremendously. Our business administrator, our clerk, I think we all work very well together, and I'm looking forward to the months ahead. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Chief, you got something?
Today we have our first quarterly safety meeting. We also have a department head meeting. Aaron and I are getting our feet wet together, working very well together, bringing the other department heads into the loop, and progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Attorney, any comments?
One thing I do have to make a comment is that, one, I like to sort of acknowledge Chief Foligno that he is setting up a seminar with regards to Oprah, which I think is very helpful for this community as well as to everyone here in the City Hall to understand the full ramifications of a Oprah aspects, which means it's an open public hearing information act, which allows individuals in the community to obtain information from the governing body and all documentations that they so require. But there are limitations, and I think that that is a very great idea that the seminar is being handled, and I'd like to comment Chief Foligno for setting it up. Thank you.
Thank you. As you know, guys, we have a very active council, VA. We all work together. We work very hard. And I don't repeat all the things that said because whatever they say, they did a complete report tonight. So Mr. Dombrowski and everybody else. And really, there's nobody to thank anymore. We thank everyone. One thing I want to thank is, thank God for keep all of us safe, especially during the fire. That's all I have. Thank you. Nothing else to say. Thank you. Thank you. Now I need a motion to open the floor to the public for public comments.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes?
Unanimous consent.
I guess we have a first contender here.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Dominic Scalzione, 120 East 54th Street. I would address this to Councilman Joseph regarding the issue of the purchase of an emergency four-stage pump. Could you just tell us what is the cost? Did it break down? Was it destroyed in the fire? Thank you.
Mr. Scalzione, as far as the total cost of it, I'm sorry, I don't have that off the top of my head, but it was damaged and it did break during the fire. And it is very important that we get this thing replaced immediately. This particular piece of equipment, as well as many other pieces of equipment, as you will hear coming up over the course of time, that needs to be replaced, that was lost at the fire, will eventually be repaid back to the borough through either our own insurance company or through the insurance company of Markel if it deemed necessary. So understand that at this moment it is important for us to put the money out first, We will get that reimbursed. And again, it did break because of the fire. Unfortunately, the temperatures of the day when the fire was being fought created a lot of damage, as well as loss to multiple pieces of equipment, not just from Elmwood Park, but from all 71 communities that came out and helped us. Everybody had something break that day. And again, because of that, and we had firemen stuck up on ladders because the hydraulic systems broke in the middle of this fire. And we had to move the apparatus because the building was about to come down. And again, because of that man in the back right there and his expertise, he was able to get everybody out safe. And again, I hope I answered your question. I kind of threw something else in there, but I just wanted you to know it will be repaid.
Councilman, if I may, on the resolution R-105-19, the amount for said pump is $18,288.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anyone else wish to come up here and speak? No? Then I close the public portion. May I have a motion, please?
Second.
First by Wexler, second by Pellegrin.
Call roll.
Councilmembers Ballasteri?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Egan?
Yes.
Pellegrin?
Yes.
Wexler? Yes. Council President Goldberg?
Yes.
What happened?
Have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second.
First by Wexler, second by Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilmembers?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
I guess we skip the other part.